is Justin Flores, Vice President of FLOC, the Farm Labor Organizing Committee. We're a farm workers union in North Carolina. Our office is in Dudley, right outside of Mount Olive, near Goldsboro. It's great to be here. Some of you know this is the home of SAF, Student Action with Farm Workers, a group that's done a lot of work to get youth involved and to spread the word, to educate people about what's going on and where their food's coming from and where that tobacco's coming from. Because unfortunately, not a lot of us know about where that's coming from. Not a lot of us know about, when we talk about these anti-union laws being passed in Wisconsin and in North Carolina and everywhere, that farm workers have never had the right to organize. The story that Keith told, which, that's a tough story to tell, to get people motivated to do something about organizing. But if Keith was a farm worker, he wouldn't have a 12-year appeal process. He would have no appeal process. And that's largely the reason that farm workers are still making poverty wages. The farm workers are out working with no overtime, long days in the August sun, picking tobacco, largely have no workers' compensation insurance, no benefits. I mean, I really, I'm going to try to keep my comments brief, but I encourage people to get educated about who's picking that tobacco and who's picking those tomatoes and who's picking those cucumbers. But our union, founded and led by Valdemar Velasquez, our current president, has always said that there's really two things that we need to look at, to focus on, to empower workers to change that situation. And that's self-determination through worker organization and corporate responsibility. So it's easy to say, hey, I work at a farm and my grower pays me $7.25, and get real mad at the grower, and we can have big fights and argue all day over whether it should be $7.25 or something more. But that grower is part of a supply chain, and that grower is largely not a very wealthy man. But that grower sells his tobacco to a company, and that company is a billion-dollar multinational corporation that set up a supply chain that keeps us fighting with the growers. It keeps the workers and the growers arguing over whether it's going to be $7.25 or $9, or whether the North Carolina legislature is going to pass a law that's going to say workers should have mattresses in their home or they shouldn't, or should they have 50 guys to a couple toilets, or should they have 25 guys to a couple toilets? Should there be a divider in between toilets in a man's housing, or shouldn't there? And that's really the wrong argument. So what we've been looking at, and the Mount Olive campaign was mentioned, is that all of these products that these folks pick, that our brothers and sisters pick, are part of the supply chain. And we have to figure out a way that we can get these companies at the top of the chain to fix the supply chain that they set up that creates all the realities on the ground. And now the question is, how are we going to do that? And that's really where this sort of community labor alliance really comes in handy. It's the only way we can do this. People have heard me speak in this room already. I always quote Valdemar Velasquez, our president, who met Martin Luther King one time, and the question came around of, how can a bunch of poor people with no power, no political connections, change things when we have all these powerful, wealthy people opposing us? And the answer was, when you impede the rich man's ability to make money, everything is negotiable. And so when we look at a corporate campaign strategy, we're looking at how we can get in these corporations' way. The way that they make money right now is very easy to them. They're happy, they're comfortable. How can we change that? And so we have to get the word out in the community. We have to be out everywhere, from the Reynolds shareholders meeting to the farms in eastern North Carolina to the 7-Eleven and Kangaroo gas stations where people buy cigarettes, talking about where those cigarettes come from. And that's one. And that has gotten us. We've been at this campaign for 7 years now. And only a little under 2 years ago, Reynolds, who for 5 years said they would never, ever, ever meet with the farm workers, began meeting with farm worker representatives. And that's not, that's big. A lot of us sometimes feel like we're banging our heads against the wall, but for that to happen, that's something big. Now, that's not one yet. We have a lot of work to do to make them actually change the supply chain. And one of the big pieces that I really wanted to talk about today is this summer. The self-determination piece is really, really important. For farm workers to have a union, you look at a plant with 1,000 workers, or we're looking at 100 plants with 100, 200, 700 plants with 5, 10, 100, 20 workers spread all throughout the state of North Carolina. So we really need to build an organization where we can get out and we can invite more farm workers to get more involved in the struggle. We can invite farm workers to be the leaders in this movement. And so we're building right now this summer. We're having our membership, our current membership in North Carolina, who has collective bargaining rights, not because the government said so, but because a 5-year Mount Olive campaign that was won in 2004 won them those collective bargaining rights, voted on a resolution to go out and sign up 5,000 tobacco farm workers in the state of North Carolina this summer. And so we're calling on folks, we're calling our labor allies, our friends in the religious community, our friends in the student community to join us this summer, particularly those who speak Spanish, to join us this summer and build with us as we get out to all these thousands of farms throughout the state, and actually multiple states, so that we can really build a grassroots movement even more than we already have to put more pressure on the tobacco companies. Because they're very, just like other companies, they're very quick to say, well, you know, farm workers don't need a union, you know, they're doing okay. This is just, everything is just fine. And we have to say that it's not fine. The funniest thing about the Chamber of Commerce going after unions is that what is a Chamber of Commerce? It's a union of companies. Yeah. It literally is a union. So we have to stop this. I'm going to stop. My time is up. I'm going to respect that. But I'm really looking forward, folks, you know, look at those yellow sheets. Let's build afterwards. Let's build in discussion because we have a lot of work to do. I'm looking forward to it.